this is a really interesting point, actually, is that I don't think people fully grok what fascist means in the original sense. Now that we're reading some fascist literature, fascists, and Mussolini says this so specifically in this text. Fascism is about the total state. The total state. Like, I don't think anybody alive in sort of at least Australia, or like average Americans, or a lot of people kind of, well, I don't know, maybe they do in other countries, but certainly not in my experience with Australians, like fully wrap their head around what a total state means. Total state is the complete intrusion into every aspect of your life. Your personal relationships, your spirituality, your employment, your association with groups, and it's completely justified because, and here's the crunch. The state is the embodiment of the spirit of the people, and it has a duty to make that manifest in the world on the stage of history, right? And you, as an individual, are secondary to the manifestation of the spirit of the people. And therefore, the state doesn't merely have the right, it has the responsibility and it has the duty to to enforce its will on you. And you have a duty as a citizen to conform.
Absolutely. Well, there's this quote here.
Sounds pretty good.
While you're listening to this, bear in mind, so people, say in Australia, a member of, say, the coalition will be accused of being a fascist. Listen to the OG's description of fascism and ask yourself, is Scott Morrison really a fascist? So, Mussolini says, the fascist state is an inwardly accepted standard and rule of conduct, a discipline of the whole person. It permeates the will no less than the intellect. It stands for a principle which becomes the central motive of man as a member of civilized society, sinking deep down into his personality. He also says, anti-individualistic. The fascist conception of life stresses the importance of the state and accepts the individual only insofar as his interests coincide with those of the state, which stands for the conscience and the universal will of man as a historic entity. It's, as you were saying, the total state. Like, this thing, it controls everything. There is nothing outside the state.
Yeah,
this is not merely a material domination. The state is a spiritual expression of a group of people.
Yes.
So it not only commands them, but it in some sense, well, not in some sense, in a total sense, embodies them. The state is the people.
So this is a super important point that people don't seem to really
it is a collectivist ideology, and Mussolini says it is collectivist and anti-individualist.
Oh, I've got a quote on that. So, good.
So just for listeners, place yourself in the elevator where Mussolini is making his elevator pitch. Just imagine Il Duce is saying this to you.
He says, for fascism, the state, capital S, is absolute. Individuals and groups relative. Individuals and groups are admissible insofar as they come within the state. Instead of directing the game and guiding the material and moral progress of the community, the liberal state restricts, and by liberal he also means individualist. So the liberal and therefore individualist state restricts its activities, its own activities, to merely recording results. The fascist state, however, is wide awake and it has a will of its own. For this reason, it can be described as ethica. So literally the state is the standard of ethics.